All right, everyone, welcome to the first episode of what I guess would be considered the third season of the FLB, the Dynasty podcast. I'm your host, Kieran Berry, joined by my co-host, Jack Van Dyke. Say hi.
Hello there.
And we are joined in person with our first guest, Bracton Abella. Say hi.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing?
He's an analyst, not a guest.
Thank you, not a guest. Disrespectful.
I'm sorry.
We're good.
So let's break into it. Our first segment is going to be just recent deals, like we've done for 3 seasons now. We're just going to break in with a couple deals from around the league in the last few days. Any of y'all want to lead us off?
Well, hell, I'll start it off with me and Kieran's deal. Jack gets Tris Sale, Lance Matollers, and Seth Beer. Kieran gets Eloy Jimenez, and Jordan Lyles. So I'm just gonna throw it out there for y'all's critique.
Well, since I'm the only one at the table that wasn't involved in the trade, I'll say I love it for Kieran because I think Jack, despite best efforts in shopping him around, I think that you could have gotten a younger pitcher than Chris Sale, because I'm all about the age, where I think that whoever's the youngest staff has a better chance to win long term than just stacking up. But Max proved me wrong this year, so I'm probably wrong. But anyway, I like it for Kieran. He gets another outfielder that he doesn't need. He has a lot of outfielders.
You know it.
Yeah, but it's kind of sad he traded the last member of his Trenton Thunder team.
Yep, the 2018 Trenton Thunder, the last place 2018 Trenton
some
Thunder.
Sentimental value, but okay. But I think Lance McCullers personally is not that great, but I
think he sort of fits into the Rich Hill type of you're not going to get more than 120 innings out of him, but they're going to be a good 120 innings.
Absolutely.
Okay, but I think Kieran gets the best player in the deal. But,
I'd agree with that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Eloy is a game changer, no doubt.
But Jack hated the pitching, so I guess I don't know.
I made this deal mostly. I'm just not 100% certain on how Sale and McCullers will do coming back from injury. Yeah, I kind of need the pitching more than I need the outfielder, but Eloy is such a quality player and such a talented hitter that I was willing to move to a position I didn't need just to improve the valuation I'd give to my team.
If you've got 3 or 4 months before opening day anyway, you've got time to make some more trades and get some pitchers.
Exactly.
Yeah, we got
honestly, as much as he seems like the throwaway piece in this deal, I actually really like Jordan Lyles with the move to Texas. I think over the next couple of years, Texas is going to become one of those teams that sort of gets the reputation like Cleveland has or like Cincinnati has sort of gotten over the last year of a place where pitchers go and they just start to perform better due to coaching or some other factor. And I think that's something that might benefit Lyles.
Well, they just traded for Corey Kubler. And all they had to give up was DeShields and some nobody prospect.
Emmanuel Clace. He's a 21-year-old who made the majors. He's a closer.
Oh, he's a reliever.
Yeah, he's a closer.
He's a reliever, yeah.
He's a really good reliever, though. I genuinely think
he needs to figure out command. Once he figures out command, I could see him becoming that great reliever.
He throws a 101-mile-an-hour slider.
Well, yeah, there's that. But if you can't throw the ball like where you need to throw it, you're just going to walk.
That is true.
Yeah.
Moving on, I'm going to throw out the most recent deal I think made in the league. Made it last night while I was absolutely sloshed. Ramon Laureano for Jackson Rutledge, 1.9 and a worst owed. I want to toss this to you guys. I'm interested to hear what you think.
See, I love Jackson Rutledge. I said that right?
Rutledge.
I love him. I think he's going to become that next ace. He's just far away. And I see your team is kind of in that weird spot where they have the pieces to contend now, but they also have the pieces to contend in the future. So it's kind of hard to gauge. Like, I like the deal more for Thomas just because he filled a need in the outfield. He was a little thin in the outfield. But again, you had literally 7 outfielders.
I had 8. He was my 7th outfielder, only ahead of, I believe I had him ranked ahead of Gallo.
Yes.
For next season.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think Laureano took a huge step last season. I think he'll continue to be on the up and up production wise. I'll ask you, Brad, any?
I mean, I like it for both, honestly, because again, like you said, Thomas gets the need filled, and Kieran gets a couple really nice little pieces there that can help him down the road if he does try and go and trade for a big time pitcher. You might need some of the assets like that, right? So again, I think it's a good trade for both sides, honestly.
Jack, you have a trade you wanted to throw out?
We'll go to Bracton's trade. Bracton gets Jorge Polanco, Luis. I'm not going to try. Campusano.
I think it's Campusano.
I believe it is
I
Campusano.
don't
Campusano. All right, yeah, and Jordan Adams, but spelled weird, for Manny Machado. It's so tough because Jorge Polanco, I do not trust to keep up the production.
I disagree. I think after coming back from the suspension in 2018, he had a good year. He had a really good year last year, well outpacing Machado.
He's a year younger than Machado.
He's a year younger. Machado, I think, is going to do a little better than he did this year, but I think he's closer to this in San Diego's ballpark than, say, he was in Baltimore, which is one of the most hitter-friendly environments in the league.
Yeah. Well, I definitely think Manny Machado had it down.
I'd give a slight edge to Bracton because he's getting the extra assets.
Which I desperately needed because those are my first two prospects since... Cody gave me one in the Benintendi deal, but other than that, those are the first two I got back in a long time. So, but I like Polanco. He's a year younger, and I don't know. I think that he'll keep it up. I like Machado too. This was not an easy trade for me to make, but again, I was at Busch Gardens. I get really dealsy at Busch Gardens
For whatever reason.
I don't know why, but I made the Albiez deal in a haunted house in the middle of Hollow Stream. So, I mean, good luck comes to me at Busch Gardens, so I trust it. I want to talk about the Conforto and Benintendi.
I do actually, because I really like it for you. I don't like Benintendi much at all. I think this last season is about what we're going to see out of him in the future. He's a slap hitter. He'll hit for contact, but he's really more of a slap hitter and plus defender type guy than a really impact fantasy player.
Well, Cody PM'd me after the deal and said, "Now you know how much I hate the Mets."
Well, yeah, I think you got the best player in the deal.
I
got two assets.
I agree. I like Conforto over Benintendi, although I don't love either.
I think Conforto has potential to be like a solid outfielder forward to utility guy.
Yeah, I could see that absolutely.
I would like to see Conforto do what he did last year and have the Mets actually go for a run. That would be nice.
Well, they're the Mets, Brett.
Yeah, but why not?
You can't. It's wishful thinking.
Why not?
The NL East this year is going to be absolutely insane. You have Philadelphia loaded up again.
Philadelphia.
I'm just listing out the teams.
Yeah,
Philadelphia loaded up. The Braves have that entire rotation still. The Mets are the Mets.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I can't really elaborate on that.
Edwin Diaz is going to be fine.
They lost more than they added this offseason.
Yeah, that's the worry for me with the Mets.
Okay,
I think they're a good
they still
team.
Don't have a third baseman. They need to address that as soon as possible. But look, they addressed the biggest need of the whole offseason was the bullpen. You got Dylan Betances. You're gonna have Betances coming in possibly 7th or 8th inning with Lugo, and
I should see him as closing.
Diaz is closing. And
honestly, the thing that worries me the most with the Mets going into this year is losing Wheeler, who was
that does suck. I know.
A really quality starter for them the last 2 years.
They got Walker and Porcello right now, who I'm willing to give chances.
Ace, Rick Porcello.
Cy Young winner, Rick Porcello.
Seton Hall alumni, Rick Porcello. That's it. Yes.
Porcello is probably the better of the two. I used to be a big Waka fan, but
Waka's a 5 there. Or not even in the rotation, maybe. Because you got DeGrom, Syndergaard, and Stroman, and Steven Matz. So you either have
I'd say Porcello the 5 and
bullpen,
Waka out of the pen.
Yeah.
I'd trust Waka more as the swingman type than Porcello.
Yeah, they're going to be fine.
It's an okay rotation, but the downgrade from Wheeler to Porcello is
significant.
Significant.
Yes, but they made up for it in the bullpen because.
And what arms do they have in their farm right now? That I can name Junior Santos. He's forever away. Yeah, he's going to be 2024, 2025. Come up.
Well, they had
Simeon Woods Richardson, and they traded him in the Stroman deal.
Anthony K too. They dealt them both for Stroman, which I'm totally fine with because I love Marcus Stroman.
I think.
So yeah.
I still think Atlanta probably wins that division. I think Washington will give them a run for their money. I'm still not yet sold on Philly.
Yeah, Philly is so weird because they have like if you look at the roster on the sheet, you're like, wow, this is like an amazing lineup, but they just don't
perform to that
Yeah.
level.
Well, I think Girardi's going to whip.
And I
the
think
shit.
and I think the managerial
Girardi's
change is going to
gonna
help
be
some
good.
there.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, I think the Braves didn't really lose anyone besides Josh Donaldson, but they have
They haven't even
Austin
lost
Riley.
Josh Donaldson yet. It's not even.
He's gone.
Yet.
In my opinion,
Donaldson's going to be a twin or a national.
I don't know why the Mets aren't more aggressive on Josh Donaldson. He'd be perfect.
Well, the
Like,
Mets don't
literally,
want to spend too much money.
Well, they got a new owner now, or they will. Steve Cohen's going to buy the team, right? And he's a billion. He's going to be the richest owner in baseball when he purchases the team. So if he doesn't have some sort of control right now going into this,
Well, that's I'm assuming that's the scenario right now.
I'd hope so.
And then obviously you have the Marlins who are terrible still.
Here's the thing. I
Forget
like
that.
what the Marlins did this offseason. They got Jonathan Villar.
VR.
VR? Is it really
Yeah.
VR?
It's VR.
What's with
Double
why
double
would you
L's
put two?
double L's in Spanish.
Jack pronounces coming up.
No, but like they added him. They had Jesus Aguilar. They added
Corey Dickerson.
added Corey Dickerson. They're adding veterans.
They're adding the Korean kid,
Yeah.
right? Or the Japanese guy. Who am I thinking of?
No, that was
They got somebody.
that was someone
No,
else.
that was the Rays.
That was
got
the
2-2 go.
That was
No, but there's another guy. Okay, I don't know.
Yeah, but they added. So they're obviously not going to do anything this year, but they added veterans to that clubhouse.
And
that
I
will
think they
help
have
grow them.
I think they have a young and talented pitching staff.
They got to get Lewis Brinson right.
Because I mean, you've got Pablo. Who's your ace? Probably Pablo Lopez
Pablo
or
Lopez, yeah. Or Sandy, I can maybe see up there, but even
Alcantara is so inconsistent. That's my worry with him.
Yeah.
Lopez, when Lopez has been not hurt, he's been really solid for them. I think everyone here knows I pretty much drive the Pablo Lopez hype train.
Absolutely, yeah. And I agree with you. I mean, he has the stuff. It's just he has to put it all together. He needs to be more, and that goes for the entire Marlins team is more consistency.
Jordan Yamamoto, don't forget about him.
Elisa Hernandez, who has been on not just my list of players I think are gonna really take a step forward this year, but I've seen him talked about in other circles I'm in as someone who might take a major step forward and be a quality number 3 starter.
Oh, absolutely. It's so weird because you look at the names and you can like pick out a few names. Like Brian Anderson came up and he is a definite face of that franchise right now. Like I can't. Like, who's going to be the Jonathan VR?
I'd say it'd be VR or Anderson, probably.
But Anderson's going to be their third baseman of the future. They have the young guy. I love their farm if they can stay healthy.
I like Isan
that's
Diaz, guys.
That's the whole thing.
Isan Diaz. I like him a lot. He's going to be a good player.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know whether he's going to get time now.
I mean,
they got VR.
Well, VR is taking. Well, I saw a report that he might be taking outfield reps too.
Really?
Yeah.
I
yeah.
didn't see that.
I don't know why we're spending so much time on the Marlins.
I don't know why I was talking about
I mean, we got
we do.
I mean,
But let's get back. Next, we wanted to do the power rankings of the teams here at FLB. Also, you're on the clock at XBA.
Oh, am I? Oh.
You just came up.
Give me some, 16-year-old I can draft.
Let's see. Someone who will piss Cody off if you take him. Let me pull up my queue.
See, I'll probably just go and look into the Cubs farm.
Pick.
There's a couple guys I have on queue right now that I was looking at. I need more major league pieces, if I'm being totally honest.
I mean, you do.
Everything
honestly.
is just
pick
washed
Brinson.
up. Brinson, honest. I like Monty Harrison a lot.
I do
You
too.
can put. It's so many. I'm going to go back to the Marlins again, but all this young talent has so much potential. It's just they need to put they said they're going to do. They need to put on the field. Brinson was a top prospect at one point.
Oh yeah.
And where's he been?
Hitting
Up and down.
less
Up
than
and down. 182, I think.
Yeah.
Monty Harrison has looked great. They have Dickerson there now.
I hope they sign Yasiel.
Go pick Alexander Mojica.
Mojica.
Oh yeah, that's another thing we got to talk about. Puig needs to sign somewhere good, please.
I love Puig, honestly.
I love Yasiel.
That's a dude that loves
Come
the
on.
game of baseball and is very passionate about it. All right, but
I don't care that people think he's an asshole. I love him.
I do too, honestly.
Literally, he's got to be the showman. It's great. I love everything he's doing. He needs to go sign somewhere, please.
Anywho, speaking of prospects
Okay.
in Miami. We'll go to Josh's team to start off at the pits of the division.
At the bottom of the power rankings.
Disclaimer. This isn't who we think is having long-term success. Or not.
Yeah, this is
now.
for this season,
this
for the
season.
2020
Yeah.
season.
That's right.
In 12th place, we have Josh and the Lexington Legends. It's a roster that was bad when he took it over. He's improved it for sure, but it's still bad.
He's got some great prospects.
Yeah, I think he
that are
didn't
on their
improve
way.
the major league pieces, but he definitely improved
The
minor
farm
leagues.
and the minor leagues.
I mean, you can look in his
absolutely.
arms, and he has Pearson, Sixto, Grayson Rodriguez. I think he has there.
Yeah,
too.
I believe he does have great
I
rod.
believe he's got Royce Lewis too.
Royce Lewis. He has the
Jorge
bats.
Valera, who I love.
Valera, I think will do great things. I think he's gonna be great.
Valera was someone I could see having a Soto level meteoric rise either this year or next, and that's not an overstatement.
I'm pulling up his team real quick.
I mean, I guess the quote unquote face of his franchise this year would be.
Well, he's got Kybert Ruiz, Luis Garcia, Luis Urias, Nolan Gorman.
No. I
Royce
mean this
Lewis,
year.
Alex Krylov. These guys are.
Yeah, he has a great farm. He has
Taylor
easily
Travell.
the best farm in the league, I think. I think for 2020, though, the face of his franchise is probably going to be... I mean, if he
Miguel
bounces
Andujar.
back, Miguel Andujar. If not, you're looking at someone like...
I love. One of my favorite players on his team is, I have no idea how to pronounce it, but Urquidy or something like that.
You're Quiddy?
Urquidy.
Urquidy. Yeah, Urquidy.
I didn't
think
get that one right.
you
either.
the Astros obviously trust that arm. He pitched in the World Series, started a game. I think it was Game 3, Game 4 maybe. He started one of those games. I think the Astros trust him enough, and if the Astros trust him, that must mean he's going to be good. Like, you see what he does
He's
to
good
like,
at
that
stealing
rotation.
signs, man.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, Josh's team is not going to be good for the next 2 years, probably. But in 3 or 4 years, he's going to be up there as a contender. In 11th place, we have Plaque and the Durham Bulls. Another team that was just bad when he took it over, and you need to fix your roster, your overplayer limits, Plaque.
You're on the shit list, Platt.
You are,
Plaque
in
is
fact,
on
on
the
the
shit
shit list, Plaque.
Wait, the difference why I have Plaque, and I think everyone here has Plaque over Josh, is the major league players. He has something.
He has something. He doesn't have a lot, but he does have something.
Have something. Like, I think I saw Andrew... Yeah, here, I have the
I'm
real
trying to pull it
players
up.
here. I like Christian Walker. I'm a big fan of the first baseman in Arizona. Good young first baseman. I don't know if he'll start for him, but...
I'd say,
obviously,
yeah,
deep guy.
he's solid. I'd say for this year, the face of the franchise for him would be either Kane or McCutcheon. Crush if he bounces back.
Oh, absolutely. And he has a couple value guys that might
Yeah,
keep it
exactly.
up. Like
Joe
Dijon
Urshela.
had a great year last year.
I think he has a good combination of guys who are good last year and hope and pray they'll compete. He did the same thing I did over the first 2 years in
The
this league,
pitchers
which you
aren't
guys...
that bad either.
Oh,
they're
I'm
not.
Looking at Archer, Keuchel, Kikuchi, Pineda.
Like I said,
wild cards.
You two weren't around for the first 2 years of the league, but he's following pretty much the same model I did. Of sure, I sucked major league the first 2 years. I was terrible, but I just roster churn everyone until I found someone who clicked, and then I'd ship them off for prospects. Or if they were really good, I'd keep them and use them as a piece moving forward.
But yeah, looking
He's
at the
got some talent
prospects,
in the pitching, like-
and in like for prospects wise, it's DL Hall, Alex Mahone, Tristan McKenzie,
Daniel Espino.
Daniel Espino,
He
all
has
those guys.
slapdick Xavier Edwards.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he has great guys. Hitting, I think, is really where his strong is. Like, Austin Mays, I have a man crush on, and don't
See, I
tell me
disagree.
to-
I much prefer his pitching prospects to his hitting prospects.
Monty Harrison, like, it's a bunch of those.
I
like,
love Mickey Moniak.
Mickey
I'm
Moniak.
joking.
No,
That was
Brent
so funny.
Rooker, I'm higher than most on. I think he has good power contact combination.
I like Yancel Diaz.
Yeah, Diaz is good. It's a solid team, just not ready this year. Again, like Josh. Next up is Johnny, and if Johnny buys, that team is going to be incredible. In 10th place, we have Johnny. Let me see what he's got here. Yeah, you've got Trey Turner, Justin Turner, Mondesi. I don't love either Turner or Mondesi.
I do. I've offered him hella packages for both of them.
I think Trey Turner is definitely better than Mondesi.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I just am not a huge fan of either. It's his farm that's scary good. I think in 2 or 3 years he's going to be the best team in the
He
league.
has more depth than value, but the value guys that he has, I think, will.
Oh,
turn
he has,
into
but he
great
has some great
starters.
players. He has Honeywell. He has.
Braylon Marquez, I'm going to ride and die for the Cubs this year. This dude can throw high 90s, great spin rate. Think he turns into a top 3 rotation guy for the Cubs.
And then moving on to 9th, we have Tane. Tane's team almost made the playoffs last year. I think it ended up a game out of the playoffs behind you.
Yeah, it was John.
Jack
John.
made it. It was
Yeah.
behind
Yeah,
me.
Jack made it. I'm saying he ended up a game out behind Jack.
Oh no, it was
No,
Brandon
I was-
and
I
You
was
were a
7th.
game behind. Okay, you were a game
Yeah.
behind Jack, and Tane was a game behind you then.
Right, that's what it was.
And he's actually got a solid roster. He's got Lourdes Gurriel, Bryce Harper, Haniger,
I love Lourdes.
Willie
Gurriel.
Calhoun, Hunter Dozier, who had a breakout year, Corey Seager, Brian Anderson,
Got
Mercado.
Corey Seager for the cheap too, and that was a
I
good
think
deal for him.
it's-
I thought.
Corey Seager's a weird
And then his
player.
farm.
It's a risk,
Actually,
but
I
I
lied
mean,
when I
really
said that I
good
think Tane has the best farm in the league. He has Adele, Lux, Bart,
Oh yeah, Lux is great. Yeah.
Luciano,
Luciano is going to be
Brennan
so good.
Davis, Luis Matos.
The only problem with some of these prospects is again they're
They're
couple
far
years
out,
away.
but
Yeah.
if he or Johnny decided to buy, they could build top 5 teams if they wanted to.
Oh, absolutely. It's just for me, like, especially if you want to get the top guy, like, yeah, you could say, like, if you offer me 14 prospects for one guy, you can't say no. Like, you can't. Like,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
It's just all about you got to make the little moves that lead up to the bigger moves.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Right.
We had a tie for 7th actually, so projected to be just outside the playoffs in 2020 are Jordan and Ethan. Which do you all want to take a look at first?
I like Ethan's team a lot.
I don't.
higher.
You both had him higher. I had Ethan 9th behind both Jordan and Tane.
Really?
This team is so solid. Like I just don't see it. Reese Hoskins, Bichette, Chris Bryant, Judge, Tucker, Robles. Like, there's what's not to like about this team? He's got Adley Rutschman coming up. Who cares?
Adley's not going to be up this year.
Yeah, I
Vaughn
know.
might.
I know. I'm just saying in the future. Like,
I don't know if Vaughn.
He
is
very
that
much
far.
fits in. He very much falls that the falter for me here is his pitching staff is 2 people deep.
That's not true.
See, I think
See,
all right, yeah, I you can see like right now where they are. You can definitely see like Bueller is obviously the guy, and then
Snell is great.
is a guy. The rest of them are wild cards.
Dylan Cease, I love him. And
He did not look good coming up at all.
right,
but
I still believe in Dylan.
I just
Cease.
don't.
There's a lot to
I
like
see
about him.
Bichette, Bryant, and Judge all being really, really solid for him. Hoskins to an extent, Escobar to an extent. Everyone else just feels sort of stuck in that middle for me. At least for this year. Tucker is going to be great, I think. Keyboom's going to be great, but not this year.
Again, yeah, Tucker needs to be traded from Houston. Like he needs
he's
to get
blocked
the
there.
hell out of Houston. Because right now, Michael Brantley was supposed to kind of be that fill guy, but he's still produced at his age. So they're like, why?
And you
trade
can't
away
play
that
him
talent?
over Springer.
And back to the pitching
or
for a
Jordan,
second.
but I guess he's DHing now.
Yeah, Jordan is going to be pure DH.
Back to the pitching for a second. He's got Casey Mize and Luis Patino in the minors, and nobody's talking about that either. I mean,
Oh, yeah, those are... He has...
You've got
Ethan
those
doesn't have
two,
many
and then
prospects, but
Snell and
the
Buehler.
ones he
I mean,
does have are great.
those two and Snell and Bueller. I mean, God. if
Yeah,
he keeps on, that's
Adley,
that's a
Vaughn,
great four.
Adley, Vaughn, Cruz, and Green, Patino, and Mize may be the best top 6 prospects any
Oh,
team has.
absolutely. It's just not like he has the best value, but maybe depth wise.
Exactly.
Not
I'm not a Victor Mesa guy. I think I've
I
made-
love
Oh yeah, no,
I
I've
am.
fallen off the Victor Mesa.
I mean, you literally typed. I was literally typing it in to pick him up and let when somebody, whoever dropped.
I mean,
him,
he
right,
might bounce
literally-
back, but I just don't see it.
I'll bring up
He
some.
got a good deal for that. Literally.
Yeah, his
picked him up
stats
for,
last year were
his worst
abysmal.
Prospect. You can take a shot with him. Why not?
Yeah, do you have
bring
his...
up Victor Mesa? All right. Well, the batting average is already kind of abysmal, but we don't really look at batting average. We look a little deeper.
Okay.
Slugging percentage at a whopping .263. His OPS .396. You can't start someone with an OPS of .396.
Especially as, he was about average age for high A ball and a little underage for double A.
Yep.
I mean, I think some of it may be the rust from the year. It was, what, a year off between coming over? But I don't... And his swing doesn't look good. It just doesn't look right.
He's got some improving to do, but the guy's got talent,
I think he either becomes a better version of Almora or a poor man's Almora.
I think he's going to be somewhere in that Almora range. That's exactly what I see from him. He's great defensively, and he's got speed, but I don't see it with the bat at all.
I see him as a Robles, sort of.
No.
Honestly, like a poor man's Robles. But, yeah.
I mean, I don't like Robles. If I'm going off of what people think of Robles, I don't buy it. If I'm going off of what I think of Robles, I could see it.
Okay, wow. Who's next?
That'd be Jordan and the Montgomery Biscuits.
Man, you look at his hitting. And
his hitting is one of the best in the league. I'd say he has probably
top 5,
top 3 or 4. I think only Cody and my bats truly are that good.
Yeah, you're higher on him than I am.
Yeah, it just comes down to pitching, and
he truly has a 2-man deep rotation. He has Scherzer and he has Strasburg, and he doesn't have a whole hell of a lot else.
I mean, like, he has a couple of value guys here and there.
Desclafani is a solid innings eater. Lester is getting really old.
Lester's fallen off. I was so high on Logan Allen until he got traded to Cleveland, where he will now die.
I think he might be a solid in Cleveland because Cleveland is really one of the best pitching development. Cleveland is one of the best pitching development teams in the league.
There's so many young arms that are competing for that 4-5 spot right now, and they've slotted him in the bullpen, and I think they like him in the bullpen.
I agree. I think I'd take the chance that Chavale or Plutko get that 4th or 5th spot over Allen this year.
And then you look at his prospects, and he has he has 3 really good prospects, like Jared Kalenic, Wander Franco, and Al Thomas.
I like Tristan Lutz too.
I think all 3 of those.
Lutz is okay, but he's toolsy, but he hasn't put it all together yet.
I think he's fine.
Yeah, but definitely Wander Franco. So he definitely has an older team compared to the rest of the league, but he has
a few pieces to slot in when they
exactly. Yeah.
Moving on up to the first team we have in the playoffs, the 6th seed, we have Bracton and the Lakewood Blue Claws. Do you want to start off by talking about your team?
Okay, well, all right. I'm trying to fill it up with a bunch of young players, the youngest players possible. I have a rule with myself when I look at hockey players specifically is I don't trust anybody over the age of 30. Okay? So I'm trying to get as many people as possible under the age of 30 or at 30. I don't know exactly how old Starling Marte is, but
31, I believe.
31, okay.
31 or 32.
Then he's probably gone after this year if he doesn't produce as well as.
Well, hell, I got a work sitting here.
Well, I've tried to trade with you before, but you don't.
Well,
okay. I mean, all right. I mean, but look, Alonso, Ketel, Vlad, Rosario, Kepler, Conforto, all guys that are very young that are going to be great. Not even in their primes yet, I don't think. Actually, Conforto maybe, but
yeah, Conforto's definitely.
Yeah, and my pitching, I've got 3 real. I call them aces. Corbin, Bauer, and Nola.
Absolutely.
Okay, and then the pitching from there is a bunch of wild cards, but I don't know. I think that they've got some deep potential here.
So.
What I'm all about Hudson.
Yeah, the only thing I see why I have you this low down is depth.
Okay.
Lack of depth pitching, and that's the kind of name of the game in the league.
Yeah, that's how Max won the league. He was able to have the best pitching depth, if maybe not the best front end starters. Herman missing a third of the season is not going to do you any favors.
No, it won't. I mean, it's not as harmful as I thought. Because, look, he wouldn't have played in all 61 of those games anyway, so it wasn't like he was a bat.
No, exactly. It hurts him less value-wise as a pitcher than it would for, say, a batter. Absolutely. But, I mean...
I'll take him. He's gonna
I agree.
He's going to be fine, and he'll help me in the playoffs at least.
You've got you've got a really solid first, second, third.
Infield is
Infield's
set.
good. I don't love Rosario, but that may be me more than anything.
Well, yeah.
No. My shortstop is Jorge Polanco.
Okay, that's much better.
He's on DL right now.
That's much better. Outfield, I'm a big fan of Kepler. I think he's going to keep up what he did last year.
I don't like to talk about it.
I like picking up Trent Grisham off the waiver wire.
That was a good trade. I don't think that was a good drop by you, Jack.
I mean, it wasn't my problem.
We just need Puig to sign somewhere where he's going to play. If Puig signs somewhere where he's going to play, that's going to be totally fine. And I honestly, Newman. I like Malik Smith too. I found him.
I'm not a fan of Malik
We'll
Smith.
see. I mean,
Malix, I think.
Malix, really?
I think it's
that's,
Malix.
That's my bad.
Yeah.
I said Malix. But
No, it's fine.
I mean, I don't know. Will Myers. I've always liked Will Myers. All these guys
I love the Castro pickup. I'm not gonna lie about that. Castro pickup was a really good
Thank
pickup.
you.
off
I
the
did that
wall.
actually in the car on the way here.
Absolutely.
Then next in 5th place, we have projected me, the Trenton Thunder. I'll start off. I think my bats probably rival any set of bats in the league as it sits right now. They're also largely young. The only really old guy I have in one of my starting spots is Goldschmidt.
I agree.
My front end pitching staff is not great. I will readily admit that, unless Kluber bounces back to his Cy Young form, which I just don't see right now.
I don't know. I mean, like, you can make the argument because Texas just Mike Minor, Lance Lynn.
Both of whom I also have. I actually have 4 arms in Texas's rotation right now.
I mean, they got something going there.
I definitely am buying into that, especially Lynn and Minor, who the underlyings for were great last year, and Lyles had a great second half once he went to Milwaukee.
I think Lyles is going to flourish.
If
he gets a rotation spot.
We'll see.
I like my depth a lot more. I think Chevale has the potential to be a high 3 player starter. We all know I love Pablo Lopez. Probably the arms I'm least sold on in my depth wise are Fires, who's just a pure innings eater. He's old and a pure innings eater.
He did great.
He has no hit stuff.
Yeah.
Don't forget, Mike Fires has thrown 2 no hitters.
I mean, you have Andrew Kashner.
Kashner's probably going to end up a reliever somewhere if I were to bet.
Jordan Montgomery.
Gumby, again, he's another person I'm willing to take that risk on. Alex Reyes, I'm really interested to see. If Reyes comes back healthy, I got it.
What'd you get him for?
A worst.
Like, yeah, that's what I thought.
It was such a low risk, high reward move for me, honestly. I gave up a worst for a guy who 2 years ago was probably a top 15 prospect in baseball.
Top 10. Yeah, maybe. Like, I don't know.
Like I said, if he comes back with the same stuff he had, I could see him being an incredible pickup. If not, I move on from him, drop him, trade him for another worse.
I like your specs too.
Yeah, I'm really happy.
Yeah.
I'm really happy with my farm. I don't have a whole ton, but the ones I do have are very carefully curated.
You've got 1, 2, 3 Mets. There you go.
Dylan Carlson is going to be
nice.
a big time outfielder. In St. Louis.
I think he probably
How
starts
old
the
is he
season.
right now?
22.
Oh, I think he
That's
earns.
nice.
Like, who else is he going to go with?
Here, look up Carlson for us really quick. I accidentally. Sorry.
You're fine. I just put his name
I want to say he's 22 this season.
Yeah, that sounds right. He was a little bit on the
That's
older
good.
side.
Not for AA and AAA though.
21.
He's 21.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll have a 21-year-old outfielder probably up soon.
And Jordan's 22.
Jordan's 22.
So, dang.
I have Eloy, who's what, 23, 22?
You got 4,000
24, I
point
think.
projection Fantrax bats right next to each
Trout,
other.
Albies, Jose Ramirez, who I really like. I think the first half, I read an interesting article a while back, right after he started to really bounce back, about how he decided people were shifting on him really heavily in the first half, and he was trying to go against the shift. And when he started doing really well, he just stopped doing that and just hit again and hit through the shift, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for me, it's kind of like a weird situation where your team can win now, but it's also prepared for the future, which is a good thing.
That's exactly what I'm trying
It's
to do.
just like, I think it's like a tier. I think there's definitely the top like
I
3,
think
4
there's
teams.
top 3. I think I'm sort of the middle of the 4, 5, 6 tier.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the top 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 through 10, and then 11 and 12 for this year.
And I could see honestly, I could see Plaque make it up and just Josh separate.
If Plaque and Josh decided to buy, I could see them both being fringe playoff teams. It just depends on who would be willing to sell to them. Moving up to 4th place, we have Jack and the Vermont Lake Monsters.
Yeah, I'm completely happy. I completely tore down my team as it was from the previous season after only making the 6th seed and then getting trounced by Mets.
You are actually, I think, the person who came closest to beating Max in the playoffs.
Yeah, and that was a Verlander.
Yeah, that was
you lost to him because of the Verlander no-hitter.
That was the Verlander no-hitter, and it crushed my hopes. But I'm happy with my infield. My outfield, I think, could use a little work, but obviously traded away for pitching. I'm more than happy with my pitching staff.
Your staff really impresses me, honestly, right
I
now.
like it a lot too.
It's
It's just got some age to it.
It's got a
That's
little
the
bit of
only-
age
the
to it,
only
but that's
problem.
solid.
But that's
And you got Boyd
It
and
has a
Castillo,
little
like-
injury risk.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Robbie
Gray,
Ray,
Montas,
McCullers,
Sale,
Marquez.
Marquez, McCullers, Ray. All of them have a little bit of injury risk to them.
Zach Wheeler's gonna go.
And
off.
Michael
Like
Kopech, which I know you're not high on at all.
I am not.
But I know some people in the league are, but he has injury risk too. But if that dude figures it all out, like
I think he's. I don't dislike Michael Kopech the way I dislike Robles, and think he's not a major league quality player.
Oh, yeah.
I just think he is a major league quality closer, not a major league quality starter.
I think he will start. He's shown the innings before in the minors, but he's kind of these past 2 years. I'll say stalled.
Yes.
And is like transition to the major league.
you're doing a great job with every trade, man, and you've just been doing.
Yeah,
Well, not every trade.
Well,
We'll
We'll get there.
yeah,
We'll get
well,
there.
that's-
Okay.
that's
Got
fast.
surprises
Yeah.
for y'all.
In third place, we have JoJo, the new owner of the Pawtucket Red Sox. I mean, he hasn't done a ton yet, but he took over such a good team. He added J.D. Davis, which is a move I love.
Really?
Yes!
Okay.
I wanted to get J.D. Davis from you for nothing. I would have given you Peralta. I was hoping you valued him low enough. His underlings are incredible.
Oh my god.
J.D. Davis's underlings were incredible this
You're
last
doing
year.
this to screw with me, aren't
No,
you?
No,
I
I'm not.
disagree.
Oh my god.
J.D.
Okay.
Davis's underlings were incredible. I probably would have paid you 2 worsts for him if it had come to it.
Didn't, though, so.
I was hoping you'd lower the price on him. When JoJo joined the league, I knew he'd probably end up getting him.
Josh had been all over me for J.D. Davis too.
I mean, if
and
you
then,
look at his
like,
team, he has Bogarts on his bench right now.
Yeah, exactly.
the
It's a great
championship
team.
is still largely intact. I
It's
mean,
the only thing with me, and again, that's with a lot of teams in the league, is the pitching depth.
He's got 5 high-level starters, and I like Odorizzi, but I don't. Yeah, the depth
Everything
is.
is that
like-
Luzardo coming up? Luzardo will be up this year.
Yeah,
won't he?
Lazardo will be up,
Right.
but the rest of the guys, like Matt's, really has just been like a
I
+4
love
ERA
Steven
guys.
Matz. We're gonna get it. He's gonna get there.
No,
Don't worry about it.
Bassett, I think is
Bassett.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge. I don't think he keeps it up.
I think it's a team that he's going to stream his last 6 starts in a week, but JoJo is someone who I trust, who I think will stream as effectively as. I mean, that's how Max won the league. He streamed his last 4 or 5 starts very effectively.
Streamed or traded for. He bought. Like, you buy the guys that are hot mid-season that can
And
give
he
you the
found Josh
production.
Bell on the waiver wire, didn't he?
No, he didn't find Bell on the waiver
That was,
wire.
I think it was
I
like
thought
a
he did.
worst or something.
It was like a couple worsts,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Moving up to second, we have Thomas in the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp.
Yeah, there's...
It's a great roster, top to bottom.
Top to bottom.
Yeah.
Top to bottom, it is a great roster. In most leagues this size, it would be the number 1 team in the league and the one you have to worry about.
Trade me Thor.
Trade me Sevy.
Yeah. No, but like you see, he has the arms. His hitting is one of the best.
He's got everything.
Like Ohtani, I think is the wild part here that everyone's trying to undervalue him. Like that dude when he was
Kieran
pitching
doesn't
was
like
great. Yeah,
I do like Ohtani. I don't think he is going to stay a pitcher for more than a few more years.
Wait, was it you or Cody that just absolutely despises him?
I
One
think
of
it's
them.
Cody.
One of you guys.
I
Just,
don't.
like,
But yeah, he's got a top 3 catcher. He's got a top 5 first baseman, a top tier second baseman, a top tier third baseman. Pretty much his whole roster, and he just upgraded in the outfield, which was sort of his weak spot.
Mm-hmm. And even then, he still
Not
had
even.
David.
I mean,
Yeah, he
he's
had
still
David
got-
Dahl, Stanton, and
Yeah, David Dahl is the class of the whole group.
I'm just saying. No, I'm saying like he has Eddie Rosario.
I'm joking.
Yeah, and Whit Merrifield there. Anyways, like,
And then moving on to
Stanton.
number 1, we have the juggernaut themselves,
yeah.
the Bowling Green Hot Rods.
Yeah,
and Cody Hunter.
He is obviously the favorite to win the lead this year.
I mean, he probably has 3 or 4 of the 6 or 7 most valuable dynasty assets.
Oh, yeah.
Period, with Bellinger, Acuna, Soto.
Moncada
And
I think he's gonna
Bregman.
go off. I don't know why Fantrax's projections can be really dumb. Moncada is not going to put up 822. He's going to.
And the thing about
blow
Cody
them.
is his farm is still really solid, even after giving me 2 prospects for
Yeah. I'm just waiting
Goldschmidt.
so he doesn't have
For
roster room,
Canning.
so he can drop Nico because I will
Oh, he
pick him
got
up
Canning
and he will
back?
start.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
He did, yeah, 2 prospects.
he's got Matt
Oh,
Gore
that was
still. He's
him,
got
okay.
Matt Manning still. He's got Drew Waters, who I am a huge fan of.
Oh, Drew Waters is
He's
going to
got
come up
Matt
and great.
Gore.
Exactly.
Like, they're
C.J.
not
Abrams,
fun.
he's got a really solid farm.
And his starters, he has Bieros, Flathery, who just
Flatherty?
Flathery,
Flaherty.
Flaherty, fuck that. Yeah, Flaherty. Dude, that dude has established himself as an ace.
Flattery.
Flathery? Seriously?
whatever.
That's the
You know
end of the podcast.
Alright,
Flattery.
alright,
No.
y'all can fuck off.
Yeah, we'll get to this segment a little later.
Giolito, who is another ace. Stop, you're fucking making me laugh.
Paddock, Canning, yeah,
Yeah.
Bumgarner. This is a team that doesn't have a weakness.
I mean, you're
really.
looking at your starting pitcher 9 as Kyle Hendricks or Max Fry.
Or
Yeah.
Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
it's
this
ridiculous.
is a team that doesn't have a weakness right now, and that's scary. So
Just gotta
congratulations,
keep chipping
Cody.
away, people. Like,
Congratulations, Cody. We all think you're gonna win the league again for like the third straight
We
year.
all will hit you.
No,
for yet
no,
another
knowing
season.
you, you'll fuck it up somehow. Be it a dumb move mid-season, just terrible luck, you'll fuck it up somehow. We know it.
the Tampa Bay Lightning.
The Tampa Bay Lightning.
Moving on, we're going to, as the decade of the 2010s has ended, the first full decade of the three of our lives,
Yep. Yeah. How about that?
we are going to look at the worst trades of the decade by each current, or, sorry, JoJo, you haven't been around very long, former owner of that team.
So if you've been here for 10 minutes, we will still shame you.
Yeah, we'll shame you for Max's misdeeds, JoJo.
Or it's just franchise history, you know?
Yeah.
You technically still haven't rebranded, so it's still the second Red Sox.
He hasn't
it.
rebranded. I haven't rebranded since season 1.
I didn't want to rebrand, but then I kind of had to, because Dunedin Blue Jays kind of had
a
negative
history.
connotation.
Yeah, Cody and I probably would have killed you if you had been the Dunedin Blue Jays again.
It's fine. I got it all figured out.
I've rebranded.
Okay.
Lakewood's cool.
So the overall worst trade of the decade, did we agree on the DeGrom?
No, we didn't. Wait,
Did we agree on DeGrom as total worst?
Total. Yeah, that
That's
is
the
the
worst
total
trade of the
trade.
decade?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's what we.
Out
The
of all of my deals, I did not make the
no,
worst
this-
trade of the
this
decade.
is-
Okay,
no.
this is-
Congratulations,
wow.
Braxton.
Before you say it, I would just like to go into detail. How the hell did the league okay this trade? Like, we go back into the
We
two
vetoed
trades.
one trade ever. I'd like to point out.
Yeah, one trade was vetoed, but everyone sat around and was like, okay. Or they ridiculed me, but moved on with their lives.
Yeah, that's what we usually do.
But here's the thing.
That was more because of that guy than anything. That veto.
No, but I literally gave up my farm and then some for Jacob DeGrom.
Well,
Okay.
I was going to, but Max wouldn't let me.
All right,
At the
anyway,
deadline.
continue with the
Okay, so moving on, the first worst trade of the decade done by Jack Van Dyke, and the official worst trade of the decade per the FLB podcast crew is Jacob DeGrom and Jose De Leon to Jack for Ronaldo Hernandez, Garrett Hampson, O'Neal Cruz, Yusniel Diaz, Zach Eflin, Carlos Martinez, 1-1, 1-7, Jay Groom, Grayson Rodriguez, Sixto Sanchez, and Didi Gregorius to the Thunder. Side note to this trade, one of the prospects, I want to say it was Groom, was almost immediately dropped for Dylan Carlson.
Yeah, so I really don't want to,
No
hash
comment.
up on that. Let's just say past Jack made some decisions.
Econ class Jack
Yeah,
trading
econ.
was...
No, all right. This was all during the
That was
econ
at lunch,
class,
wasn't it?
and
No,
Kieran-
this was an econ class
And Kieran
trade.
would take his wheelchair and spin it on over to where I was, and be like, and he's like, all right, add on like Grayson Rodriguez and like a couple pits, and let's get this. I'm like, all right, fine, hold on, let me just figure this out.
He's like,
and
"Fine,
then,
I don't care."
and then literally this list he comes out with. He's like, all right, take out these two from this huge list I did. And we got a deal. I was like, "Oh fuck! I'm getting DeGrom. Like this is great. I'm going to get the
Best
top
pitcher
5
in baseball.
Yeah, top 5 pitcher in
it.
baseball. This is fantastic."
So I said the best.
I'd agree, he's the best right now.
Thank you. That's not just Mets bias talk. There you go.
Yes, and the other honorable mention trade for Jack, since he also had the worst trade of the decade, we're going to give you a second one.
Yeah.
Flame Van Dyke instead of me for making bad deals.
Yeah, we've decided. You'll get flamed later,
You're
don't
coming to
worry.
my house.
And flame you, yes.
Blame me. All right.
This
Not
was,
the bag.
this
Kieran
is,
was assigned you, not me.
this was part of I also picked this one because this is what you got for DeGrom. You traded away Jacob DeGrom, Jose Ramirez, Victor Mesa, and Jorge Guzman. So DeGrom, Ramirez, and two worsts for Javi Baez, Jake Odorizzi, and Elvis Andrus.
God, I love me some hobby bias. What a guy.
What a
You know?
guy.
I think when you sit down and you say, who do you prefer, Jacob deGrom or Javier Baez? You
know
just gotta
what?
think and ponder.
Yeah.
Alright.
And now, Bracton, do you want to take one of the
Yeah,
people off your list?
All right, I was assigned Cody. So after much scrolling,
Yeah, we actually
we
scrolled
all the way up to what, like
the beginning
beginning
of
of the year?
the beginning of
Yeah.
when this
Like-
league was formed. I went back into the old league to find some old Bracton gems, and I actually chose one as my Bracton
you'll
worst
love
trade.
Mine. Just keep in mind, I didn't know who any of those guys were. At the
We'll
time.
get there,
Alright,
Bracton.
yeah,
Okay,
but
fine.
continue.
Okay, I got Cody. Cody gets Kyle Freeland, Will Myers, Tristan McKenzie, and Kevin Maton. And Jack gets Trey Turner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely a trade.
we go.
It is a trade. And
So it was a good Jack trade.
it was a good. So Jack definitely you see is a very polarizing owner.
Right.
He makes the best of trades.
And
And
the
he
It
makes
was the best of trades,
Yeah.
and it was the
The
worst
worst
of
of
trades.
trades.
There we
Yes.
go. We don't need to spend too much time talking about that one.
Yeah,
Jack
overall-
traded Trey Turner.
Yeah.
But I didn't write down what he got for him.
It was some sort of.
Jack,
it was
your
fall. I got Giolito, and I traded him I got Giolito and a couple other pieces for Turner.
You, Jack, pick one of the people
Alright,
you have.
I'll get on Kieran real quick.
Good.
Again, there's a couple like owners that have. Really
Jack kind of
done
got the
phenomenal
shaft
job.
with the
Yeah.
owners he
Yeah.
he had.
I got the real.
You got
tough
the
ones.
tough ones to pick bad trades for.
Yeah. But we'll go to this one. I would say quote unquote kind of bad. Kieran gets Pete Alonso. Josh gets Jesus Sanchez. Royce Lewis, Grayson Rodriguez, Valera, Gallon, Doppler, Newton, and a 2023rd.
I mean,
I don't think it's a bad trade.
But here's the thing, that's
it's
the worst thing I
a
did.
it's a fat package,
Yeah.
but the only real quality pieces there are Valera and Royce Lewis. Let's be
And-
honest.
Oh, I
But you
love
got
Grayson
Pete Alonso,
Rodriguez.
who's the
I
best
love
first baseman in
Rodriguez, and I think.
Oh,
Gallon,
and Grayrod, yeah.
And I love
Gallon.
Zach
I was not huge on Gallon. I sort of got him as a plan to flip him, because I just didn't buy into it long term. I was wrong, obviously, but
I think you got the best first base. You got the best first baseman in baseball.
There's a
You
Freddie
got-
Freeman that would
You
beg to
guys,
differ.
you guys can argue with me all you want.
all right.
Hold
Back
on,
around to
guys.
me. The other co-host here, or I guess not co-host,
Yeah,
analyst. You
Steven
say?
Gold.
Okay, call me an analyst.
Yeah,
It's
analyst,
fine.
yeah.
Analyst.
Yeah.
Analyst. Note the sneer quotes. This is an old one
Respected analyst.
from
There you go.
respected analyst.
there we
Note
go.
the sneer quotes.
There we go. That's better.
From the original league, the league before we split off, back with Paul and them all.
Y'all love this one.
Bracton gets Scott Kingery and 111. Kieran gets Jesus Luzardo and Sixto Sanchez.
I didn't know who Jesus Luzardo was at the time. Okay.
See, I feel like defending it just makes it worse.
Yeah, I think
I know, but that was what was the date on that? Did you write it down?
late mid 2018.
Okay, was that one of my first?
That was
deals
your
ever?
first stint. That was
Yeah.
during your second stint.
Oh, it was. Okay, well, then I got nothing to say. I thought it was my
Yeah,
first.
no,
That'll bring us back around to you, Bracton.
All right, I got Ethan, and this one's good. Kieran gets Kyle Tucker, Justin Verlander, and Chris Sale. Ethan gets 1-2, 1-3, 217, 221, and Trent Thornton, with the stipulation that Ethan must take
The
Andrew
Kieran.
Vaughn 1-1.
No, that I had to take
oh,
Vaughn.
you have to take
Yeah.
Vaughn 1-1. My bad.
Yeah, he wouldn't make the deal unless he was guaranteed Adley and Witt there at
Okay.
2 and 3, and I didn't really want Adley or Witt anyway. I wanted Vaughn.
yeah,
Okay,
there's definitely a couple of head scratchers looking back for Ethan, but I think you see the best owners usually have the best of trades and the worst of trades.
Okay.
A tale of two trades.
Yeah, a tale of two trades.
Then I have my fair share of bad trades. There we go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll go for my guy now. I had Tom, which again another owner where I had to like scroll a lot, but this trade was between Bracton and Tom. Bracton gets Patrick Corbin. Thomas gets Tristan McKenzie 1-1 and 2 stips canceled from Bracton.
No, he had to cancel 2 stips for me.
Oh, he had to cancel 2 stips for
Yeah.
him. Oh, okay. Yeah, I
1-1 is a good piece, but it's not worth Patrick Corbin.
no, and Tristan McKenzie has yet to hit the majors.
I like Tristan McKenzie, but
Not
it's
Corbin.
Not, it's not, yeah.
All right, here's mine. Here's my next one. I had Josh. Josh was tough to find bad trades for. He makes good trades almost exclusively. But he gave up DJ LeMahieu for Joey Wendell, Austin Hayes, and a third-round pick.
Yeah, I love DJ LeMahieu. I also love Austin Hayes, but like
not as much as DJ LeMahieu.
Not as much as DJ LeMahieu. In other words, whoever has Austin Hayes, think it's plaque. You need to send him to me immediately. This is what, the 5th time I've had
Signed,
him up?
sealed, and delivered.
Yeah. Someone needs to give me him. Jesus.
All right, so I had the JoJo Max franchise. Let's just call it that. Pawtucket Red Sox. Max got Carlos Rodon, and I got Ketel Marte. And Max actually had to take a worst ode stip from me too. So that was
Yeah, Ketel Marte was
Ketel
one
Marte
of
is my guy.
Yeah.
Ketel Marte, good.
Yeah,
Carlos
yeah.
Rodon, not good.
Thumbs up, thumbs down.
And I dumped a stip. So
And you dumped a step.
yeah.
All right, I'll go on to Tanae, which, again, another tough owner. Looking at Kieran and Bratton for making me scroll through all this.
I didn't.
Yeah, I take complete
All
responsibility
right,
for
it's
citing
Nick
them.
Senzel for. Oh God, Jack, I'm trying to read my own handwriting. This is bad. What do you think that one is, huh?
Kieran's-
Yeah.
That says.
Yeah. What do you think that one says? That's not English.
I think that's Bauer.
No, there's no way that's Bauer.
Wait, let me see.
Is that Bauer? Oh, it might have been. Yeah.
You wrote it down.
Coward, Groshans, Boom, Bias, 215,
Oh,
217.
it's Jackson Cower, not Trevor Bauer.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
Power. Okay.
That's right. I actually told
And for
you
Nick
that.
Senzel. And I prefer the prospects in the pits there a lot more than actual.
Okay, no, that's Bart.
Bart. That's right.
Right.
Bart.
It's Tanae
Bart.
gets Senzel, Cody gets Joey Bart, Jackson Cower, Jordan Groshans, Alec Boom, Michelle Baez, 215 and 217.
Yeah, there you go. That's right.
Yeah, I prefer the prospects there too. Nick Senzel. What is he? He has vertigo, right?
Vertigo, yeah.
I'm not. I don't touch that with a 10-foot pole.
No. Kieran?
My last owner I had was Jordan, and it took some digging, but I found one. Jordan got Madison Bumgarner, Blake Trinan, and 111. And let me see. Let me see who got the package. But the package he got was... Oh, Tanae. Tanae, congratulations for benefiting from this trade. Tanae, you got Yordan Alvarez, Justin Dunn, Estevan Florial, 1-6, a third in 2021, and a worst owed due by the All-Star break. For Bumgarner, Trinan, and 111.
Wow.
Yeah, that's. Huh.
Yeah. My last one was Johnny, and it took a long time to find. But
Johnny only makes trades that he
But
makes.
I found one that I think everyone can agree on here. Johnny gets 213, my first rounder in 2020, a 2020 second from Max, Adrian Morjon, and a worst owed, and Max got Chris Bryant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not great. Not great at all. Love me some Chris Bryant.
yeah. We got Cubs fan. There you go.
Oh,
That was my list. There you go.
All right, and I guess we'll go my final guy's Plaque, which he's been here only for a short little while, but we are glad to have him here. And I got my deal with him was Dallas Keuchel and Gio Urshela, and Jack gets Brian Reynolds, Hauser, Guile, and 312. Again, not a terrible trade. It's just the worst one I could find.
Who was this for?
This was Plaque.
Plaque,
yeah. It was just the worst one I could find.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's the worst trades of the decade. A very dubious congratulations to Jack for having the worst trade of the decade
Yeah,
overall.
I just-
And not me.
Someone
So there you
can we
go.
make that a roll in Discord?
once
We'll give out a trophy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can someone give me a trophy that says worst trade?
So now we're to the time of the show where I start asking stupid questions.
That's my
Here's my question for all of you.
I see Malibu Wave Runners.
Yeah, I get post notifications for every message in that server. My first question is, who is a prospect that you all expect to shoot up lists in 2020?
Ooh. No, I have. No, I'll go. Yeah, I have my guy. Braylon Marquez. Or yeah, I think that's
Marquez.
Marquez, yeah. Cubs starting pitcher. The dude throws high 90s, can put it wherever he wants it. Great spin rate. I easily see him slotting in as a top 30 prospect next season.
All right, I got one. Nate Pearson, as if he hasn't already.
I was going to say,
right?
he already
Yeah,
has.
he already is.
Really?
He's already top 10.
Oh, yeah. He's not top 10, but top 40 or 50.
Okay, well, then make the jump to top 15, 10.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah,
he's got it all, and he's going to be the ace of the staff the minute he gets there. I mean, like, honestly, I think they bought that Ryu. I'm not going to even pronounce
Hyunjin.
Ryu, right?
Yeah.
Just to buy him some time, right? Get him ready for when he eventually.
I think he comes up this year.
This year?
Yeah,
I could see it.
Late
this year, he probably is more of a closer type to start.
Some people think the Jays are a wild card team. I'm not going to come out and say that yet.
No,
but
they do not have the pieces to compete for a while.
I don't know about that.
I mean, their rotation is Ryu. Who else did you throw in there? Like, I can't name a guy.
I honestly can't.
My answer is a guy I've been driving the train for since the middle of last year. I believe he's still unowned in the league, and I'm not quite ready to add him, but he's probably going to be the next person I add if I get a worse.
What 17-year-old Cuban you throwing at us this time?
Tanaj Thomas. He's a 20-year-old pitcher in the Pirates system, which is one of my favorite underrated systems.
Yeah, let me take a note, just so you can buy on him later.
I'm just kidding.
Thomas, he had a good year this year, but he has really great stuff and movement. And he's my big prospect who I think is going to click really heavily this year.
Right.
He's actually 20, so thank you very much.
He's actually 20. Yeah.
And he has a great name.
Yeah, exactly. Anyone with good names.
Tanaj.
Yeah. Anytime you have a good name, you're going to make it
Okay, best name ever, though, Taz Tulowitzki. Can't wait. That's gonna come on. Taz Tulowitzki's gonna be great. Yep.
Yeah, I can see it. Or if you have a last name Rodriguez, you're automatically up.
Yeah.
Do either of you all have questions you want to throw out there? I didn't prepare many this time.
Oh yeah, I'll.
We already talked about playoff teams. Okay.
Who?
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Yeah. Who is the surprise team in Major League that makes the jump from worst to first?
So straight up worst to first.
Yeah. Who goes from the pits? Who is the most likely to go from the pits of their division?
I got one.
Number one.
I think the Cincinnati Reds. Honestly.
Did they finish last or did the Pirates?
I don't know what they finished last or not, but I mean.
If they finish last, absolutely the Reds. I'm double checking.
I'm pretty sure it's Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh was bad.
Yeah, well, they're not improving though. It's the same team, right?
Well, no, I'm saying Pittsburgh was last.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, but like among the last, like I don't know.
Let me.
I mean, they kept in the playoff race pretty close. Like
Pittsburgh?
No, Cincinnati for a good part, and then
yeah, Cincinnati's 75, and your choices are the Padres, the Mariners, the Tigers, the Orioles, and the Marlins.
Then.
I agree, the Padres.
I could also see. I guess the White Sox finished. Never mind. Yeah.
They didn't finish last. They finished third in that division.
Yeah.
They're gonna be fine.
All right, so I guess we'll wrap it up here. Right?
No, Jack.
No?
Jack,
No?
you want to wrap it up, huh?
Yeah, I do. I really do want to wrap it up. That's something I want to do.
I have bad news for you.
What? You got another question?
No.
It's that time of night.
It's that time of night.
Oh,
it's time for the classic segment, Jack's pronunciation.
This will be fun.
We're gonna start out with a couple of fun ones that are classics while I find other good names. The Twins ace. What's his name?
Twins ace. Jose Bieros.
Yes, Jose Bieros, of course.
Yeah. You're doing it on purpose now, aren't you?
Yeah.
He is. I think he really is at this point.
Give him a list of guys, man.
I'm trying to. See if you can find any.
Yeah, I'll start.
Literally name any third defenseman on any Canadian hockey team.
Oh, okay. We're doing hockey too.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not just limited to baseball.
Okay. All right. Hold
any
on.
hockey name.
Hold on. How about the goalie for Team Russia this year? For what do you call it? The U18s. Hold on.
I have no
Here
idea.
you go. Here you go.
Oh, jeez. Yaroslav Escobar.
It's Askarov.
Askarov, yeah.
Yes. Yaroslav Askarov. There we go.
No.
Let's see. Let's find another hockey name.
The European names are stupid, and Europe should just implode. Tell me I'm wrong.
What is wrong?
Who needs soccer?
Oh, we're not talking about soccer.
Oh,
Well, I'm
how
just
about
saying.
this guy? Football player, tight end for the Bengals.
Oh, CJ Uzma.
Uzma. CJ Uzoma.
It's Uzma.
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 Oh, okay. Hold on. I think I've got one. This is an easy one.
Uzumo? Like, that one makes sense. There's an O there. It makes an ooze sound.
Alright. Let's see.
Oh, Jesus. Nikate
No, you're doing it on purpose. Come on.
Nikita Guzov.
Nikita Gusev.
There's an I.
Nikita.
That's an E. You're saying E.
G-U-S.
That doesn't make sense. You're saying E.
How about this one?
Jesper Boquist.
Hey, there we go.
You knew that because of Adam
Adam
Boquist,
Boquist,
didn't
Alright,
you?
how do you pronounce this name?
Luis Domingue.
Louis Domingue.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna give
I'm
you
just
some
going
players
down the whole list
off
Devil's
of your
roster.
football team. I'm gonna try.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, there's nothing else in the Devil's
There's no one
roster.
there. They're pretty, like, Thomas.
Yeah,
or,
you have
like-
some. You have
Oh,
some.
I got one.
Lindsay.
Karen, you'll love this one. Hold on.
What?
Hold on. I want to see if you can get this one. Where is it? There it is.
If I hadn't just.
There you go.
Oh, Jesus. Valerie Nichushkin.
Nichushkin.
Yeah,
Nichushkin.
Valerian.
Valerian Nichushkin.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Alright.
Hold on. I'm gonna pull some off your baseball team. Then. Oh, but you only
I'm
have
going
major
to
leaguers.
I get. My goal is to have good players and basic names so I can hype them up.
I'm going to... Okay,
you-
let's see if you can get some from the Blackhawks here.
Drake Caligula.
Caligula.
It's Caligula.
No, it's...
No,
I've
that's
heard it say Caligula.
Caligula was the Roman emperor, Jack.
No, I've heard announcers that I'm throwing. This is me throwing the BS flag.
Okay, you know what?
I've heard announcers say Caligula.
I will...
Did he name a horse to the Senate?
Yes, he did.
Okay, hold on. I will find somebody saying Cajula.
It's Caligula.
No, it's
Oh,
Cajula.
Minnesota Twins prospect.
Keon Kavaka.
Keone Cavaco.
That was close.
Here, Jack. It's... I will have somebody pronouncing Drake Cajula.
It's Caligula.
Caligula was the Roman
Caligula.
emperor who named the horse to the Senate. Has Drake Cajula ever named a horse to the Senate?
Okay, here you go.
I don't
Here you
think
go.
so.
Here you go. Everybody listen. Hold on. There you go. Everybody hear it? There it is. Drake Cajula.
Alright.
Oh, here's another great one. Arizona Diamondbacks shortstop prospect.
Oh, Lavir Pergiro.
Leover Pagero. He is not a
That's kinda
perger.
hard, too. I mean-
Leover, yes, of course, I'm giving him hard ones, but
On purpose. That no
Oh, hold on.
honest man
Wait.
should do.
Here we go. I've got a couple Leafs that are really hard.
Alright, we're running into like 5 minutes on the set.
okay, last one here.
No, this one's the last one. Go ahead.
Kay Berry.
That's my mother. That's my mother sending me a text. God damn it.
Blog Bortles.
No, god damn it. This name here.
Misael Urbine.
Misael Urbina.
Okay, last one. Here you go.
Ryan. Oh, what the? That shouldn't be English. Mickey
Ilya
Wybe.
Mikheyev.
That nope. All right. And
That's
with
it.
that, we will wrap up this segment of the Dynasty podcast, FLB Dynasty podcast, or I guess it's now the Dynasty like Incorporated. I think that's
Yeah, something
We
like
gonna
that.
brand it like that? Okay.
Yeah, I mean we can do either.
We'll do it either way.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's a podcast. You know what league it's for.
Listen, enjoy, trade me Austin Hayes, and we'll be fine.
Trade me George Valera.
Yeah. George Valera, Austin Hayes. I think you wanted Thor. All right,
Oh, yeah, I do
make
want
it
Thor.
happen. All right, we're
All right,
done
good night,
saying
everybody.
Yes.
Good night.
That's it.